always do your due diligence and you go research. Okay? And then you have them wonderfully showing you Sean Combs all over this clown, Jaguar Wright, which had gotten more airtime than this disgusting, despicable person who claims that she's a whistleblower, but sat idly and watched Aaliyah and all these young people be raped and molested and said, not a word, not a word, but utilizes this particular time to come out and speak on things. Interesting. Interesting that Jaguar Wright is being centered along with Sean Combs and all these other celebrities. And again, y'all, in this realm of the simulation, celebrities are the lowest in the other realm. They play high tier here, and because they are low tier on the other realm. So you're worshiping losers. You're worshiping very depraved. That's why a lot of their behavior is very depraved. A lot of their behavior is very low vibrational. They engage in sexual deviant behavior, and all of this to, precipitate this to your children all the while, so that you have everybody in the populace now, all young people, saying that they're non-binary, they're trans, they're all kinds of things, because they're being superimposed with all of these geo-engineered ideologies that are being perpetually bombarded with on all of social media. And I've told you years ago, and I'm going to say it to you again, all of social media, television and vision and radio was solely, listen to me, solely created for mind control programming. Whether you get a slight dose of entertainment, that is just like you taking a cyanide and it just happens to be sweet. That's just a side effect. Pay attention to all of the things that are being geoengineered. And if you go inside the schools and see all of the different types of things that are being shown and presented in books in the library that they wouldn't ever have presented when we were in Generation X, the type of books talking about how to masturbate your adults, how to hide from your gender from your parents and be able to live your best life. These are all books, how to play with stool. Like, these are all books that are now being presented in a populace of children. And this is why the children are coming up with really weird ideologies, because they're being bombarded, because everyone has a cell phone, everyone has a tablet, everyone has a TV, everyone goes to movies. And if your child is not perpetually under mind control, well, the neighbor's child will imprint that on them. So it's a nice little dose of social engineering that keeps perpetually affecting all the children, because it passes along like a virus. Because once one child is infected, they will infect the rest of them. Okay, but I digressed. So let's go into the fact that all of these NPCs, as you're noticing, there is a high amount of so-called celebrities that are transitioning from a host of, things that start with the letter C. And whether they took the geoengineered blah, 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 blah or not, we can only presume. But the fact of the matter is the simulation is ending. And with the simulation ending, many of the NPCs are disappearing from your lives. And what you have to understand, I told you the rules and regulations of what would be helpful for you to have the best, more helpful players within the dynamics of your simulation, is to shed some of the NPCs. Because remember, you only have certain amount of players that you have instituted in each person's game. If you are a soul being, if you are a being coming outside of the firmament and you are in the cryo state, this is who I'm talking to. You only have a certain amount of beings that are inside that you have allotted to your game. So if you have people holding a space and that space is needed for an upgrade, I just have always given you my opinion, and you don't have to listen to me. I would just suggest that you kind of shed some of those NPCs that are not useful, that you need upgrades on, just like the Mandela effects are upgrades. You should definitely separate. So let me use an example. So let's say you have a household, okay? And I'll do females and males, it doesn't really matter. And you have a household, and in your household you have maybe your children, and you have extended family, maybe you have a husband in there, and You maybe have extra characters in the outer perimeters of your game, and you in the video game only are allotted 2 male progenitors. I mean, protagonists. Or, well, they could be protagonists, but you only have 2 spaces. And let's say those spaces are being held by 1 male child, and then maybe someone that you're letting in the house, maybe like a brother or an uncle, or maybe just an extended family member. Just know that that space, like when women are saying they're looking for a man, but they have spaces held by males, you can't bring in another male when you already have spaces that are held by those 2 positions. There's only 2 males allotted in that game with you at that time. Antagonist. Thank you, Catherine. Antagonist. So what happens is that you're wondering how no male is able to come to you, why relationship is something happening, like what's happening is because you don't have enough data for another male. So you have to rid of one, shed, I want to be nice, shed one of the, and it's not going to be your child, obviously, but you have to shed a male in order to get a male that's more in alignment. And to hold that position. So if you have spaces of specific characters and they're holding spaces and they're not serving your highest purpose in the game, you would have to shed them in order to fill it with another character. Do you guys kind of understand? Am I, can you kind of, so if you have like people just holding spaces, like just spaces in your life and they have no purpose, I would just suggest that you kindly, and you don't have to be rude about it. I'm not telling you to be heinous and disrespectful. I'm just saying I would shed that space and allow for a higher version of that character to come into your life. Most of the people in your life are most likely NPCs anyway. So for that reason, it's very important for you to have the highest and best and greatest players being, NPCs, whether they're NPCs or not, but you want better players to assist you, better characters to come into your life. So if you have spaces that are already held, you cannot, especially if you only have 2 males allotted to you, 3 females for someone. If your children are taking up that space, obviously, I don't care if you perceive them to be NPCs or not, those spaces are being taken and you're not going to get rid of your children. So it would have to be someone outside of that. So I just say, pay attention to that. Prune. Who said that? Oh, I love. Thank you, she who walks in the word. Thank you. Pruning. It's important. Oh, a helicopter. I think I might have triggered something, y'all. It hasn't happened since Florida. Remember Florida? All my lives had helicopters. I think I triggered. They're coming. Anyway, okay, so we're talking about the NPC. So what you're going to notice is right now at reset, a lot of people will be transitioning. I've just given you a forewarning. This is a fact. It's what I know. It's very important for you to understand that this is a time where many people, characters are leaving. And also some real beings may have not gotten the okay to go on to the next stage of the game. They may have transitioned because they're coming back for after reset. Not everybody is qualified to go to the finale. So not everybody, there are real game players, actual beings that are players that haven't allotted the points or the conditions to stay in the game. So many of them will be transitioning and coming back for the next game, the next cycle. Okay, and you aren't to judge it because not all the time were you ahead of the game. Not all the time were you allotted to stay in for the finale or make it to the finale. Okay, so it's very important for you to understand that you must prepare, because if you're looking at all the celebrities, I mean, every day you're hearing another celebrity transcend, because this is the end, friend. This is the so the simulation is crazy and it plays with me, y'all. Oh, this simulation is a bastard. On my phone, I just got a notification that Hurricane Kirk, some of you know what that means. Hurricane Kirk is coming in a 3 category. It does that purposefully. Remember, it's my simulation, so it's going to show up with names and people, names within the thing. So, Hurricane Helen, I know a Helen, Hurricane Kirk, many of you know that. That's interesting. So now y'all, another hurricane is being geoengineered. Now, this could be a real one, but I doubt it. Just brace yourself, because I'm sure those in North Carolina haven't even got, I know, Kirk, right? Oh, goodness. Anyway, um, so in terms of the simulation, people will be transcending right now, and we have another bioweapon coming, geoengineered bioweapon coming, in the pathogen. It might come in spores, it might come in mosquitoes, but I've already talked about the Portal's nose. Yeah, Captain Kirk, great. Interesting. Many of you know that it's coming. I'm distracted. Hold on. This is how the simulation works. I have to really concentrate. You see how I'm just thrown off a little bit? Okay, so the next stage of the game, you know that this is the end. This is the finale. We talked about this. You could have fun with it. You could go buck wild with it. Okay, so if you understand that there's a video game, you know it's the Purge meets like the Hunger Games meets like what is it, the Handmaid's Tale. What is that game, when they beating prostitutes over the head, whatever that is. You got all these things in the mix. Okay, probably the zombie apocalypse, because you know anything fungus in the mind, people might, you know, walk around going, ooh, you know, eating of the cats, that could be a zombie, because remember the town where they're eating the cats. Thank you to Daryl who shared this. The town that was first chemicalized, that's the town that they're accusing the Haitians eating cats, but they're not talking about the fact that it could be for a byproduct of the effect of the chemicals that happened in that area, and maybe people are turning into zombies. Oh, Grand Theft Auto. Yo, you hear the coyotes? You hear the coyotes? Do you guys hear that? They sound like jackals. You don't hear it? Okay. As soon as I talk about the cats, do you see what the simulation does? I love this. Well, I don't really love this game. I don't want to call that. Okay. Everything's a distraction. I'm telling you, the simulation is off the chain, y'all. It's off the chain. Okay. So let's talk about also the graphene in the coffee. Because you know I have to make it. You know, many of you know that I have a love for coffee. Coffee has been my lover for many years. I've enjoyed the luxury of drinking something so dark, beautiful, and handsome. Unfortunately, the graphene has made it very difficult for me to enjoy my cup of Joe, or my cup of other. I should change the name. I don't want to name it Joe because he poops on himself. That's not too much fun. Anyway, it's very important. I wouldn't mess with anything with mushrooms, y'all. Whenever you have a high amount of radiation, remember I talked about Chernobyl, and I've talked about Fukushima, and I talked about what radiation and fungi do. Fungi eats radiation and it helps it to grow, allegedly. You can do the research on that. Okay, I wouldn't mess with anything that is connected to fungi. I wouldn't eat it. I wouldn't touch nut or mushroom. I wouldn't put it in my body, because when you see how these mushrooms are growing in people, and it's called C, you will understand that I would just try to keep as much fungi out your body as possible. This is my opinion. Don't listen to me. And anybody who's promoting that, they're probably a fungus themselves. There's funguses among us. Okay, the coffee. Anything dark, anything charcoal, anything chocolate, anything dark, most likely, allegedly, I'm a maniac. This is not something that I can, let me just say, I would just be careful about graphene, okay? Anything that's dark and is ground already, I would be concerned. And like I say, you could follow my lead. Anything that I have that's dark, if I have to do anything, I don't mess with coffee with caffeine, because caffeine messes with O positive. Big up to the O positives, y'all. Our bodies are really reacting to the craziness right here. So O positives, you know how we're very sensitive to caffeine. Be careful, O positives, because it will make you nice and fluffy. You know, it depends on the kind of fluffy you're okay with. But it can make you nice and fluffy. So I would not mess with any caffeine. O positives. Okay, so O positives, I know it's very hard. You know, I told you about my love of coffee, how we had a love affair, but he was hurting me. So I had to give him up. Okay, if you want to do decaf and only buy your own coffee, your coffee, um, uh, your coffee beans yourself that are Swiss washed and are tested for plastics and microorganisms. There's certain coffee that it says it tests for any sort of, because remember, anything stored in silos, what is it called? Mold and spores. Rice, beans, anything stored, corn, held in silos is dangerous. So it's very important. I wouldn't buy anything ground already. I would buy it Swiss wash and with the no organic, and also with the seal that says it's been tested for micro or what is it called? It says it on the top of your package. Mine says it's been tested for molds and so all that stuff, for all the types of molds. I mean, you're going to spend more money on it, but it would be that you wash it. And even when you have your coffee, I wouldn't even trust the people who say that it's safe. I would wash it with, baking soda, which I tell you to do all the time. Baking soda kills, it's my opinion. That's what I do. Don't listen to me. I'm a maniac. I would just take it and clean it with, because it kills spores. That's in my opinion. Okay. And I would just say it's very important. I wouldn't mess with coffee, chocolate, and most of your chocolates, y'all. I hope you're not eating the chocolates that are being sold regularly, because they all have soy in it. Okay. They have soy and all kinds of, every chocolate that you buy, like Kit Kat, Snickers, what's the other one? Whatchamacallit, what's the other chocolate? Snickers, Milky Way, M&M's, what else? Kit Kat. Did I say Kit Kat? What's the one with caramel? I forgot. Twix, right? Hershey. They all have soy in it, y'all. Stop buying your son's that. If you're buying your son soy, you are the reason why he's changing and switching, and he's gonna be brah. Okay? Stay away from all of those. Read the ingredients. You could literally tell me that I'm wrong. Go read in the ingredients right now, and you will see out of all of them, because that's one thing I do. I'm big on fact checking with all the ingredients. Go look at all of them. Look on the ingredients, y'all, and you will see soy on all of them. You cannot mess with anything. Make your own chocolates. Remember back in the day, stop being lazy. We used to make everything. If you like chocolate, make your own chocolate. So you put your own ingredients inside. Make your own cakes, make your own coffee, make your own things. Stop buying and expecting third parties to have more care for you than you have care for yourself. You get mad that the ingredients are sucky, but why are we funding them? Why are we funding biological narcissists that are like eugenicists? They utilize you as test tube dummies. They do. So it's very important. Like mommies, you know how I get down. I make everything from scratch. You know how I stay fluffy? And I don't even eat that much. I just put a lot of love in my family. I make everything for my family. Okay? And when I have a man around, I make everything for him. Okay? Because if he's clean, then I'm clean. So stop being lazy, young ladies. Do it for yourself and for your health. And actually you'll be prettier. You won't have to wear all that makeup and mass destruction. Your hair will grow really long. You'll be healthy. Your yoni will smell like a garden of Eden. I mean, everything will be right. Make everything yourself. You cannot trust demons with your body. This is not natural. Normally we used to grow everything, and occasionally we go out and get a couple of things from the market. Now you get everything from the market and grow less. That doesn't make sense. Start taking care of, because this young C-Star was like talking smack. It was like, oh, these old women. Listen, honey, you better hope you look like me when you're my age. You better hope. The majority of you eating microwave food, getting all kinds of radiation, no nutrients, and no true sunlight, because the sun is fake. Okay? So you better hope when you're my age, you look this fluffy. Because believe me, when I take off my clothes, I'm okay. And anyone who sees me without my clothes is okay. Okay? Okay? If you keep eating microwave foods, processed foods, starch of mass destruction, potato chips for lunch, drinking heavy coffee on an empty stomach, drinking all these Monster drinks, you won't have skin like this when you're my age. You won't. You'll look a lot different than me. That's why all these chicks have to get all this kind of Botox and all this stuff when they're like 25. You shouldn't have to do all that when you're eating healthy. You're young, you're robust, you should be eating and making all your own stuff. It does not take a lot to make your own foods, y'all. It really does not. It's very lazy. Stop going places and doing your own wonderful oil pulling. You know what I mean? Stop having sex with NPCs of mass destruction that got monkey balls all in his butt. On weekends he's hanging out with Tommy and Tommy's got him bent over saying hut hut hut. Okay, it's just a very important, sea stars and sun stars. You already know, because y'all don't vet. You see a big butt, and a smile, that girl is you see a big butt and you see, and I don't even know how you go with the ant girls. I maybe you guys like the butts with they look like ants. I don't know, but you sticking your wand all in there, your magic wand won't be magical anymore. It will be dead. It'll be like a broken wand. Keep sticking in monkey balls. Women of mass destruction, holes of mass destruction. You stick it in her yoni, and it's not really a yoni. It used to be a wand. Okay, y'all got to get better vetting skills. Okay, you can't tell the difference between a man and woman, and that's the problem. Okay, you should be just as choicey about the women you engage with than the same as women do. Y'all are sticking it in everything, and you think a condom. What's the point of you wearing a condom when you're sticking your tongue on her in every which hole? This person said this to me. They're like, "Oh, I use condoms, but did you kiss her? Did you lick her? Did you smell her? Did you suck on her? Yeah, hello." So what the condom is just for, like, show? What is it, like? It just like cosplay? What's the condom for?